Right, Shalom. Okay, out from the gym. As we in the Saints coming back at you with another quick lesson. Prior to getting started, as I always do, I like to give infinite honors and prayers to Yahweh, by Shemi, Shai, by Shemi Kakwadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles who great millstone. Salutation to the Akams that's pushing the truth and sincerity. Lord willing, this video be edifying first and foremost to the whole for elect, then to those that feed to the body. I just want to get in a quick lesson on pretty much a cattle sacrifice in the midst of Babylon, man. Okay, this is I believe this is a cattle controlled demolition. Okay, that was performed, by the where the government, or what you would call those that are setting it up to pretty much bring forth a famine, which is all done through the spirit of the Lord. But ultimately, it's the Lord, all right, that's causing a famine in the land. As he said, he spoke about the dearth in the land, because it's going to be a food famine. They have chicken processing centers, just mysteriously burning down. And now you got cow, you have these pork, even the pork factories, man, burning down processing, plants. A lot of these processing plants are just mysteriously burning. As you look over the past year or so, not even, past 2 years, you just having rampant fires at places that produce, we're pretty much cattle, man, that produce the food we eat out of the ground. Okay, but it's nothing but a reincarnation of ancient Egypt, when the Lord pretty much was destroying the cattle. Let's get something real quick. And I'm going to play a quick video. And, again, Lord willing, the video will be edifying. I don't tend to be long, but I'm going to move in the spirit with it. This is Exodus. Just to show that what the Lord was plaguing Egypt, all right, he's going to do into this modern day Egypt, man. This is Exodus 9. And I'll start at the top. All of it is good. It says, then the Lord said unto Moses, go in unto Pharaoh and tell him, thus said Yahweh, our power of the Hebrews, let my people go, that they may serve me. It's Hebrews that are Hebrew Israelites, all right, because you got different nations, that come out of Noah, okay, and you have you have the Israelite Hebrews, you got Edomite Hebrews, you got different nations, So right here, the Lord is speaking of the Hebrew Israelites. It says, for if thou refuse to let them go and withhold them still, behold, the hand of Yahweh is upon thy cattle, which is in the field, upon the horses, upon the asses, upon the camels, upon the oxen, and upon the sheep. There shall be a very grievous murrain. Let's see what that say right now. A grievous murrain. Now, the reason why I'm bringing this up is because it's something that's symbolic to today, because we are in the hands of our enemy, which I'm going to bring out in Nehemiah. All right. There shall be a very grievous murrain of some type of deadly plague. Let's see what the blue letter says about that. Yeah, pestilence, a plague, or a cattle disease, in the sense of destroying. Pestilence or plague, okay. And it means to warn. All right. So it says, and the Lord Yahweh shall sever between the cattle of Israel and the cattle of Egypt. See, and how the Lord going to do it here, all right, is that he's going to feed his men. And this time, the Israelites, okay, because when we came out of Egypt, every man pretty much made it. All right, on this side, the Israelites, the cattle, all right, which the cattle is the herb of man for him to eat. In that day, the angels gonna, pretty much have the men of the Lord eating, man. Which if the Lord severed between the cattle of Israel and the cattle of Egypt during this catastrophic time of this famine that's coming, how the Lord is gonna be feeding us, man. It's gonna be that spiritual cattle the Lord gonna be giving unto us, man. All right, because in that day, the Lord may let cows or whatever come through, man, but for the most part, we looking to eat, we're looking to be able to eat from what the spirit of the Lord, the things that the Lord gonna provide for us to eat. We're not gonna be able to get our own in that day. Now the Lord may set it up in situations where we do, but right now we're looking to eat out of the hand of the Lord, which we always eat. He provide our daily bread, so in a time of famine, he's gonna do the same, man. We have faith in that. It says, and there shall nothing die of all that is that is the children of Israel. Okay. So but these animals are dying as I'm and again we get our bread from our enemies, man, and it's defiled. Most of these cows are diseased and sick. All right. So really, whatever you intend to kill off, I mean, the men of the Lord is not gonna starve out. The Lord gonna have something in place for them, man. All right. So right now, but we're in the hands of our enemy where they have the rule over us, and we have to go to Egypt for all things. So the Lord is gonna plague Egypt, man. And He's gonna do it by smiting their cattle, pestilence and plagues, right? Hailstorms, fires. The Lord is all with that, man. Because again, over the past year or two, the Lord been really, it's been like a beast sacrifice almost, man. The Lord have been cutting the food supply off in this place, man. Though yeah, He's been putting it in the minds of the wicked to do so. All right, it's still gonna be a plague until what? Their rulership, man. But let me get into this this little video real quick. All right. And this is an article from USA Today. It says 18,000 cows killed in explosion, which I believe, again, it was a cattle-controlled demolition, man. Fire at Texas dairy farm may be largest cattle killing ever.
For the most part, West is a very tight-knit, low-crime, good people city to live in.
I was at home eating dinner with my family, and one of the charge nurses called to say that there was a fire at the fertilizer plant.
When I was here, it was just smoke. It was just white smoke. I knew that there was a threat of some sort of danger. Explosion was not one of those thoughts in my mind at this point.
Coming from my house, which is about 4 miles from the nursing home, we were on Main Street, and that's when the explosion happened.
April 17th, 2013. An enormous explosion rocked the city of West Texas when 30 tons of fertilizer-grade ammonium nitrate...
Man, that looked controlled.
Enormous explosion rocked the city of West Texas.
Let's look at that again. This don't look controlled.
Happened.
April 17th, 2013. An enormous explosion rocked the city of West Texas.
She's gonna say it looked like a... Well, just listen to the video.
When 30 tons of fertilizer-grade ammonium nitrate detonated at the West Fertilizer Company. The blast killed 15 people and injured hundreds more. Nearby homes and businesses were severely damaged, many beyond repair.
Everything just goes like stone cold silent, slow motion, and then the explosion happens. Immediately after the sound, here comes this mushroom cloud coming straight at me. And all I could think was, I'm dead.
And you don't get a fire that actually sends forth a mushroom cloud. When you listen to this man detail the events that was pretty much happening during this explosion, all right, you don't get a fire just burn and smoke, you know. Now it can catch on to another house and start a bigger fire. It can kindle, but it don't be a mushroom cloud.
Dead. Immediately after the sound, here comes this mushroom cloud coming straight at me. And all I could think was, I'm dead.
We just said, let's hurry up and get to the nursing home, see what's going on. The roof was caved in, and bricks were laying all on the ground. I just thought, this is horrific. There's nobody in there that's going to be alive.
I can actually see debris hitting the street. And I'm just covering my head. My ears were ringing, and I have suffered hearing loss since then. I have tinnitus all the time. Apparently I had chemical burns in the lungs, chemical burns on the skin. A lot of people would tell you that, I looked white as a ghost.
We'd walk into a room and find them. Some people were in there, most of them were in their beds. But the farther we went down the halls, the more people you could hear and the more people you saw. A lot of them were trapped, but they were there and they were alive. Just a big relief.
The PTSD and the memories, I do get anxiety. One of the things that sets off my anxiety is the smell of smoke, blood, the damage, just the overall destruction that was clearly evident with the houses and the buildings. And that's what I kept dreaming, and it was almost every single night.
I'm more cautious. I'm wondering what else could there be around here that we don't know of that could harm the residents. That part I think of a lot.
That's right. It says, back to this article, the fire spread quickly through the holding pens where thousands of dairy cows crowded together waiting to be milked, trapped in daily confines. After subduing the fire at the West Texas dairy farm Monday evening, officials were stunned at the scale of the livestock death left behind. 18,000 head of cattle perished in the fire at the South Fork Dairy Farm near Demolition, Texas, or about 20% of the cattle slaughtered in America on any given day. Okay, so it took up 20% on a daily rate. It says a dairy farm worker rescued from inside the structure was taken to a hospital and was in critical but stable condition as of Tuesday. There was no other human casualties. It said, we don't seem to learn. The West Texas fertilizer plant explosion 10 years later, right? It said it's mind-boggling. Dimmitt Mayor Roger Malone said, I don't think it's ever happened before around here. It's a real tragedy. Because it was controlled. It said it was the biggest single incident death of cattle in the country since the Animal Welfare Institute, a Washington-based animal advocacy group, began tracking barn and farm fires in 2013. This easily surpassed the previous high 2020 fire in an upstate New York dairy farm that consumed about 400 cows, said Allie Granger, and policy associate at the institute. It's the Texas fire is the deadliest fire involving cattle we know of, and even again these cattle site explosions and fire, they just miraculously, ironically, This all seem to be blowing up or catching fire. That's neither here nor there, though, right? It says in the past we have seen fires involving 700 cows at a time, but anything near this level of mortality, right? It says Castro County, center of the fire is open prairie land dotted with dairy farms and cattle ranches about 70 miles west of Amarillo. Okay, let's see what caused it. A malfunction in a piece of farm equipment may have caused an explosion that led to the fire, said County Judge Mandy G. Feller, the county's top executive. A malfunction in a piece of farm equipment caused an explosion? Okay. It says Texas fire officials are still investigating the cause. Yeah, right. Malone, the mayor, said he wasn't aware of any other fires reported at the facility. He said the dairy had opened in the area just over 3 years ago and employed 50 to 60 people. Said the owners of South Fork Dairy couldn't be reached for comment. What? Just say a bunch of stuff. Okay, it says most of the perished animals, a mix of Holstein and Jersey cows, were in a large holding pen before being milked, she said. So now I guess they're going to have a influx on the price of milk now because of this setback. Or you just going to have a spike in the price of milk, right? Because obviously they wasn't milk, so they didn't get the milk. It says cows, the 18,000 cows represented 90% of the farm's total herd, which each cow value roughly about $2,000. The company losses in livestock could stretch into the tens of millions of dollars, Jeffler said. That doesn't include equipment and structure loss. You're looking at a devastating loss, she said. My heart goes out to each person involved in the operation. It says Texas ranks fourth nationally in milk production, home to the 319 grade A dairies with an estimated 625,000 cows producing almost 16.5 billion pounds of milk a day, according to the Texas Association of Dairymen, a trade group. And Castro County is the second highest producing country in Texas with 15 dairies yielding 144 million pounds of milk a month, according to the U.S. Department of Agriculture. Even by Texas standards, South Fork Dairy was a behemoth. Its 18,000 cattle made it nearly 10 times larger than the average dairy herd in Texas. Man. It says it's not the first time large numbers of Texas cattle have died, but rarely do so many perish from a single fire. A blizzard in December 2015 killed about 20,000 cattle across the Texas Panhandle, according to the Texas Association of Dairymen. And Hurricane Harvey in 2017 drowned thousands more in southeast Texas, which led to 93 million in livestock loss across the state, according to Texas A&M AgriLife Extension Service. So, and then you get what happens next. I guess I'll read that. State and dairy officials are turning to massive, messy tasks of cleaning up 18,000 charred carcasses. On the website, the Texas Commission of Environmental Quality lists several rules for on-site burial of carcasses. Oh, whatever. All right, that's neither here nor there. All right, let's just get into a few precepts, because again, this is a cattle sacrifice in the midst of Babylon, man. You know, which we're gonna have to feel the effects of this, because we're in the land and we get our food from our enemies. All right. This is Nehemiah 9:36. It says, behold, we are servants this day, and for the land that thou gavest unto our fathers to eat the fruit thereof, and the good thereof, behold, we are servants in it. Because technically, every part of the land of the earth, that our foot sojourner to touch it, we're pretty much gonna be what the owners of it, man. You know, it says, and it yielded much increase unto the kings whom thou hast set over us because of our sins. So they're benefiting, all right, for our sins and our wrongdoings. So now we eat our bread defiled from our enemies, man. You know, we go to Egypt, our enemies for the want of all things. So this cow explosion, it'll directly affect who? The Israelites, man. Us. You see? It says, and it yielded also they have dominion over our bodies and over our cattle at their pleasure, and we are in great distress. So we are in great distress, man, because of this shit, man. You see that? But nonetheless, it's part of the prophecy, man. It has to happen. There have to be a dearth in the land. All right, a famine. It says, yeah, that's pretty much it with that right there. All right. And again, as we see, the Lord is in total control of pretty much of everything that's going on. So we get it. We understand. you know. We get what the Lord is doing here. This is Psalms. I'll get a couple of more and get out of here, man. But because it's biblical prophecy, it's prophetic. Okay. This is Psalms 50 and 10. This is how we know the Lord is in control of everything. Okay. It says, for every beast of the forest is mine, and the cattle upon 1,000 hills, man. You know. All right. That's the Lord. The Lord. It's just whether those beasts live or die, that's an offering up to the Lord. But He's doing it in the midst of Babylon, man. Okay. Because He gave us the beast to live off. But we're gonna have to trust that we're gonna have to live off the Lord. Because in the wilderness, when the Lord destroyed Egypt, our people say, well, they bought us way in Egypt out here for us to die and not feed us. And then the Lord gave us what? He gave us manna, all right, in the wilderness. So the Lord is setting it up to where we're going to have to trust in Him to eat, live, move, and have our being, man. And that's completely fine. This is Psalms 104 and 14. It says, He causeth the grass to grow for the cattle and herb for the service of man, that He may bring food out of the earth. So if the Lord cause a great dearth and famine, and the food be destroyed, all right, by our enemies, how we going to eat? Right? That's interesting. How are we going to eat? Because the Lord going to require us to have great patience with Him. All right. Okay. This is when you go into this this is Psalms 107, right? This is just giving thanks to the Lord for what He's gonna do. Then David was just giving thanks to Him in his prayers. This is Psalms 107. And I'll start at 36. All right, he says, and there He maketh the hungry to dwell, that they may prepare a city for habitation, and sow the fields and plant vineyards, which may yield fruits of increase. All right, it says, He blessed them also, so that they are multiplied greatly, and suffereth not their cattle to decrease. At the end of the day, the Lord can give us, the Lord can kill off 18,000, then give us 18 million, man. All right. So the Lord, You know, the Lord, that which the Lord doeth is perfect before our eyes, man. You understand? Because again, the Lord have set this up, man, because of our, our wrongdoing. But our enemies have gained, that hand over us to feed us, man. Let's do Deuteronomy, man. Let me get it, because I mentioned it. All right. I know it's in 28. We just got to go to them for all things. But the Lord, He's going to take the luxury out of them having to feed us, right? and then put that trust into His hand. So it's going to be, this is going to be a blessed thing, man, for us to have to, trust on the Lord to get our daily bread, which we do now, Let's see. Yeah, this Deuteronomy 28. That makes you get all this. Let's start at 31. It says, thine ox shall be slain before thine eyes, and thou shalt not eat thereof. Thine ass shall be violently taken away from before thy face, and shall not be restored to thee. See, because we under these curses, man. That the Lord is what it has great indignation towards us, man. But we have repented and turned around. So in the end, the Lord gonna remember us, man. It says, and shall not be restored to thee. Thy sheep shall be given unto thine enemies, and thou shalt have none to rescue them. Right? And jump to 33. The fruit of thy land and all thy labor shall a nation which thou knowest not eat up, and thou shalt be only oppressed and crushed always, man. you know. So that's, we are being punished, man. And these curses is going to be on us until what? Yahweh shall come and deliver us, man. All right. Remember, Yahweh Shah was that pillar, that cloud by day and that pillar by night in the wilderness, man, to feed us, man. I jumped down to 50, right? It says, a nation of fierce countenance, which shall not regard the person of the old, nor show favor to the young. And he shall eat the fruit of thy cattle and the fruit of thy land until thou be destroyed, which also shall not leave thee either corn, wine, or oil, or the increase of thine kind, or flocks of thy sheep, until he have destroyed thee. So this man to take the food away from you Israelites, man, until what? He basically killed us, man. Feeding us GMOs, laboratory food. This has happened. This has come to pass, man, before our eyes. So again, we believe and trust in our Lord to feed us, man. At the end of the day, you could starve us out, and the Lord will bring us food, man. All right. So yeah, that pretty much was it, man. I just wanted to get in that. There's a sacrifice. The Lord is pouring out for a place of a famine, that we can trust in Him, that He'll feed us and our families, and the elect men in those days of hunger and great famine. So Abba Rather Zada was that a famine. Next time I say Shalom.